Hello guys, I'm Joe. Welcome everyone to today's MA, Community MA. Let me turn on my camera real soon. So, there is I'm sorry, there is good evening or good night. So today's this is our third Community MA, and let me first share our agenda today. So today first we'll talk about again the HAG introduction to like maybe sometimes like for someone this is your first time to join our community MA. So first we'll talk about HAG introductions and then we'll jump to FAQ. So the FAQ will cover the community plane, including our like next step within the community management and about the ambassador and also the community managers. And also we would like to like re-emphasize our OGO utilities and some OG details that the questions that is pretty good and raised by our community members, and that we'll have some summary. So yeah, so yeah, this mean again? Because this is your first time to introduce about HAG. So HAG, the full name is the Hashrate Asset Group. So HAG token is the world's first secure token that provide the investors with perpetual computing power. So we got three most prominent highlights about HAG. First, the fully compliance. Secondly, the transparent and sustainable economy. Last but not least, the interest-bearing assets with two layers of value. So let me elaborate more in details. So first is about full compliance. So HAG, we are SEC filed company, and we offer the HAG under Regulation D / Regulation F. So that means that US credit investors or outside US see need to buy the HAG, and the cost of HAG is security. So that means that there will be no difference between buying the HAG and the US stocks. It's about the same. And it's pretty important for web institutions or investors because you have to have different, and you could get used to like new kind of like style or different kind of energy. It's just like so you could get used to the whole thing that you like familiar, but with access to some like the high point money especially. So yeah, I think this is first highlight about GG is about fully compliance and is just like buying the stocks. Secondly, it's about transparent and sustainable economy. So our tokenomics is pretty easy. Every month, we'll distribute 70% of net yield on the Bitcoin mining and via the smart contract and directly send to our HAG's holders wallet address in WBTC. I think there are some like keywords. First, this is automatic via smart contract, and it is in WBTC, and it is on a monthly basis. And the remaining 30% of net yield will become the like kind of treasure pool to maintain the hash rate, so you don't have to face any issue about like hash power depreciation or decay, because this is pretty important part for for the for like if you like have the access to the Bitcoin mining is one thing, and having the capability to maintain the hash rate is another thing. So it's different. So HAG provide kind of our know-how to help you prevent from those like tiring jobs. So you don't have to worry about that. Enjoy the Bitcoin mining directly. So let me elaborate more about what's net yield. Net yield means it is the gross yield and deduct several expenses or fees. So those expenses or fees include, but not limited to, first electricity cost, secondly the gas fee, last one is not about 30, sorry, it's about like mining pool commission fees, because when you mine the Bitcoin, you have to first put into the like mining pools, and then you could have some further utilization. So there is a commission fee within this process. And like another cost including like mining facility operating cost or some overhead, and also other direct costs of mining as well. Of course, there might be some taxes for you guys if you are in different countries. So we recommend you guys to to have some like consultancy to some local tax experts. So basically, net yield is the gross yield from the Bitcoin mining minus like several costs I mentioned above. So this secondly, I think is about transparent and sustainable economy. And last on my list is about interest-bearing assets. I think HAG we have two layers of asset, the value asset. So the fundamental value is highly correlated to Bitcoin price, because if you use the cost method to think of HAG, HAG is pegged to 1 terahash per second on the hash power. So that means that buying HAG, you are owning part of the mining equipments. And based on historical data, those price of those mining equipments is highly correlated to Bitcoin price. So that means that HAG should be highly correlated to the Bitcoin price as a fundamental value. And the second layer of value would be the dividends, the WBTC dividends that were distributed to you on a monthly basis. So this two layer of value, I think, is kind of interesting things for the investor, because for Web2 investor, if you care about the yield, the APY, yeah, we have. And for the like, if you believe in the Bitcoin, yeah, you could get a Bitcoin because you could get a WBTC as a dividends. That's my list. If you like the Bitcoin and you think Bitcoin might fluctuate or maybe appreciate in the future, yeah, buying HAG, our fundamental value is highly correlated to Bitcoin price. I think we could we could like satisfy all the needs that you might have. And I think, but we like our investor frequently access. So what do you expect the APY? I think because of the compliance issues, so we could not predict the return of any financial assets, including HAG or the Bitcoin price. But feel free to join our community. I mean, there's Twitter, or Telegrams, or maybe future Discord. We we have some active members to talk about the future they believe in, about HAG, about Bitcoins. So you could join our community to talk more about that. And so yeah, that's basically about like some brief introduction about HAG. First, it's fully compliant, just like buying the stocks. Secondly, the transparent and sustainable kind of things. And that's my list is about the second layer, the two layer kind of value. So um, let me talk more, a little bit more about it, because some members have asked me that what's the difference between like mining company in the US and HAG. So HAG for us, our distribution plan is simple because 70% of net yield distributed via smart contract in WPTC. It's simple. But for the mining companies in the US, their distribution plan is usually on a quarterly basis, and those distribution is it depends on EPS. So for EPS, there might be kind of like bookkeeping kind of strategy to make EPS not favorable. I mean, the EPS will seem like not profitable, but in fact, those mining companies might get the bitcoins on hand. But because of the like poor EPS, they don't have to distribute any dividends to you guys. So I think the biggest difference between buying HAG and buying the mining company in the US, this is the biggest difference. And by the way, buying HAG, you are directly owning the directly only in the hash power. So it's also the big difference. So yeah, so today, this is my time to use this. You might see the with I have to prepare like, so just join. So they are just really and we will to answer some cover things and cover the I will take yes. Let me read. Okay. So currently HAG released the information mainly in English. Do you have any plans to support the other languages? So yeah, this is the first questions, the frequently asked questions. So first, I think of course we respect different languages, and I think the language barriers should not be the barriers for like the people of HAG. So um, maybe this is way how we deal with it. So we try to figure out the way that could that the language barrier lower. So that's why we think our MAA in the future will using the YouTube, because YouTube they got subtitle that will automatically translate to language that you really familiar with. Like you could read it in Korean or Japanese. So you could choose like the most preferable language using the YouTube. And by the way, based on like the investor leads we have collected so far, most of our investors or like already investors is from Japan. So first we will like set up the community in Japanese. But that doesn't mean that will only open the Japanese community. We'll like open different languages of Japan, like different languages of HAG community in different languages by steps. So for Japanese community, we have to do some localized work. First, we have translate our important articles into Japanese, and maybe we will like recruit some ambassador and community manager from Japan as well. So this is the way I think, holistically speaking. So first, we respect different language, and we think the language should not be the barriers. So we will try to do the most language friendly way to do it. So like in a short period of time and in the short term futures, we will still use the MA for you guys on the YouTube to choose a language that is more like preferable to use. And for and thereon we will set up the Japanese community, and also we will set up different community in different languages by steps. So please stay tuned to our uh, future actions. I think we appreciate the visitor from over the world. I think we should keep talking, because it is our first time, to learn Japanese. So and maybe like Korean or different languages. Maybe I will become like language experts in the future. Kind of things. So yeah, this is about for things. I think Japanese investors they are pretty active, and also we have some like Korean investors as well, and also British Britons like the UK, and also China's investors they are pretty active as well. So I think overall we really appreciate that the effort you have devoted to this. So appreciate again about this. Oh, okay. I see there's Q2. So Q2 is if I want to join as a content creator or community manager, what should I do? And will there be any rewards? I think, yeah, this is uh, points related list. So yeah, let me okay, here we go. So yeah, I think there are two roles within our community. First is about the ambassador, and another role is about community manager. So first, the difference between the ambassador and the community manager is like depends on how deep you could involved within the community. First, some work for those ambassador and community manager. First, it means that we might need you to spread HAG related content in your local language, like for like Japanese community, for example. we might need you to translate our important article and put it on the social media or local social media, and we will like to for you to have like a, to come up with different community topics in your own language that is like favorable to your local markets, like for like there's a big event in Japan or in Korea, and we might need a community manager to capture this trend, and then to bring some like discussion momentum for people to join, for community members to become active. I think this is the most important things, because we are not you know we are not encourage the FOMO, but keep discussing about certain like topic. It's important to let everyone fully educated, but because it's not important, it's not possible for everyone to acquire all the knowledge from the day one. So for a community manager, I think this the biggest duty will be try to have the localized market education for HAG in different markets like Japan or Korea or like UK or different or US. So I think this is important. And thirdly is about like introduce the resources and HAGs for HAGs to grow. I think they include like if you familiar with like your media resources, the local media resources or local community resources. I think this is your great capability to let more people know about HAG. I think this is also good for you because you might be even more proud to become part of HAG community. And I think last but not least means we might have like actual help to design the community events, maybe like offline events for OG gatherings in different locations. So I think this is the job that we think the ambassador or the community manager should do. And I think the biggest difference between the community managers and also an ambassador is how deep you could involve, or like how much time you could devote it into to HAG's community. So of course this is a duty, but we also like to talk about the benefits, right? So there are mainly three kinds of benefits. For if you are the ambassador or community manager, you will first get your IP exposure. So that means that if you are already a community, you have a really strong community. Being our ambassador, you could let your IP exposed to our community, so we could have some like synergy among each others. And also, if you are ambassador or community manager, you will definitely have some early access to HH news, because we might need you to help translate those content into the local languages, or try to like arrange those news to the local media channels to help distribute the channels. And the biggest difference between the benefits of the ambassador and manager were mostly the salaries, because for community manager you might take more time to spend more time on HAG, so we will provide the salaries for the community manager as well. So this is about the duties and the benefits about HAGs, like an ambassador and also the community manager. So you could scan the QR code on the right hand side to fill in those form, and I think our CMO will try to like review all the application and arrange the interview, and we will finalize our like perfect also our um also our so the Q3 for an ambassador is kind of lightweight kind of job to get involved in a HAG community, And I think this is also kind of synergy they would like to between the HAG and other projects or other community as well. So feel free to introduce HAG to the people around you, and we welcome any like resources referral to us. So like those resources might include some localized community or some KOL or some like people who are good at MA, or even like you think they're a good speaker, and could be part of our like speaker in the MA like this in the future. I think we are open to any resources or any recommendations. So don't hesitate. Just fill in the QR code I provided on the top, or you could just DM our HHE Telegram admins. I think we will carefully read all the resources, some like insightful resources, kind of referral kind of resources to make the HHE ambassador and community manager programs much more successful, much more influential. So yeah, I think you know to have a strong community is important, and I think if we have strong community, the progress of fundraising will also increase as well. So I think we are on the same boat with you guys. So the earlier the fundraising could be completed for each change, the better. So I think if you got anyone who is talented, you would like to recommend them to become our ambassador or community manager, feel free to just scan the QR code to fill in the form, or to DM the admins of HHG. The right. Yes, I think we got some really good and really positive like feedbacks from 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 the last times of MA when we talk about these. So let me re-emphasize the benefits of it of OG. First, you will get the limited NFT, and such NFT we will collaborate with the NFT projects. Some of them might be the top 10 NFT projects on the open seas. So I think the design of NFT will not let you down. So this is first utility. You will have to get the limited NFT granted by HAG official. Secondly, is the WBTC airdrop. So I think OG will receive additional WBTC dividends airdrops. So this is the second important thing about OG benefits. Thirdly, you might have the access to directly talk with us, talk with the management teams. I think this is a good way for you to get more familiarity with the management teams, HHG management team, to discuss the mining industry, and we would love to share the passion we have or some knowledge on the know-how we have in the Bitcoin mining, learning from since 2014. So I think this is the third you might have. You can meet with us. It could be the online, like periodic meeting, or it could be the offline gatherings. That's my list is about like crypto event invitations, because HAG is part of the Web3 community. So we will participate in different crypto events. So if we have some like additional tickets, we will also like to reserve the slots for the OGs to come and join, or even we can invite you guys to the side events we have in different like crypto gatherings. So again, OG had four mostly four different utility. First, limited NFT with good design. Secondly, the WPTC airdrop. Thirdly, it's about like a newer investor conference access to have some talk with directly with management team. That's one list. To have some like reserved slots for you to join the crypto events. Okay, I think there's a Q5. Okay, do you have any recent updates about OG systems? Yeah, I think this is a good one. Sorry. So, like I say, we got some positive feedback when we announced the OG program again in our last MA. I think we have, confirmed the first page of the first page of our OG. And I think in the recent days, we will send out our email to the OGs. So we will have some exclusive Telegram groups. So if you are interested in this kind of exclusivity, you know, please, like acquire the OG titles. So I think in the future, we might have some periodic like OG gathering online. So to talk about some progress we have and to talk about some interesting things we noticed in the industry. It could be the Bitcoin in the economy, or it could become the Bitcoin mining industry. We would like to share this kind of extra information with OGs, and I think this is in this way it could better to build some like strong connection between HAG and our OGs, and also to know the OGs needs. So I think we really respect and we really think OG is important to our community, and I think in this way we will in this way we could share some like extra passion we have with our OGs, with our like investors, and I think we'll keep like maintaining this kind of utilities to the OG to make sure that we are capable of providing the utilities we announced for the OG at the very beginning. So I think OG is a way that we share the actual passion we have within the community. So there might be some exclusivity to the OG, but we also care about like different voice in our community as well. So even though you are not an OG, feel free to have some talk, discussions, or ask question, raise any questions within the community. I think we all appreciate that. But yeah, OG got some exclusivity. Sorry about that. Okay, the QC. So when is the deadline for getting an OG identity? Yeah, I think this is a good one. I think the OG. Sorry, let me take a. So yeah, the OG qualification uh, might be limited in terms of the OG amount and the granting durations. So currently, we do not explicitly stated such limits. So that is, we do not specifically mention that how much OG could be granted or how long will be the OG program last. So I think so such OG program might or might not be exclusive to the first change. Maybe there's some chances that the OG program will last till the second change or the third change. We do not have some limitation on this, but the things that we consider about is our capability to maintain the services that we could provide to the OG. Right, like I mentioned before, OG got the four most prominent utilities, and I think our management team, the member of our management team now is limited. So we want to make sure that OG enjoy the utilities that we provided at the very beginnings. So that's why we do not like explicitly to mention about the limits of the amount or limit of durations. But I think if the OG program keep open, that means that we are still capable to serving you guys. So yeah, there's no limits yet. There's no limits on the duration, so the amount of OGs. But stay tuned, and we will announce the closure of OG beforehand. So I think you don't have to be concerned about it. You have to think careful about it, but never hesitate to share the passion to us. Okay, the Q7. If the number of OG holders increase, will the non-OG dividend decrease? I think this is a very good one. I think the clear answer is no. There will be no negative effect on the non-OG dividends distribution. I think again there will be no dilutions. So the reason that there's no dilution or the negative effect on the non-OG holders in terms of net yield distribution is because the WBTC airdrop is given out of management team's pockets, right? So for the compliance reasons, we could not guarantee that how much amount of airdrop in WBTC will be given to the OG, but we make sure that the non-OG holders, the right will not be harmed. I think this is important. And then I think, in fact, there are other OGs fascinating utilities, including, like I said, NFT, a new conference, the crypto events, and also some HAG offline gathering. So airdrop is only part of utilities, and we'll make sure that such utility will not affect the non-OG holder as well. So again, we provide OG utilities to share the extra passion we have with the investors who are willing to invest more or who are more active in the community. So under the era of self-sovereignty, HAG tried to share share the warmth of humanity. That means that you know in the web everyone's behind the screen, but we would like to share some warmth of humanity. To have some off gathering to talk, to interact, to share the passion we have for those for those like investors who are willing to invest more or who are more active in the community. So yeah, take a question in my so so you know get on me if I do that or let me now sorry about that. There might be some like internet connections kind of issue I have. My internet connection is not that good in my house, so sorry about that. Okay. So okay, some enjoyment like mentioned that why should I buy the HAG from the BTC? I think this is a good questions. Like like buying the Bitcoin, you know, you are acquiring the Bitcoin at the secondary market, not cost. You are direct access to Bitcoin cash rate. So that means that acquire Bitcoin at cost, not at the secondary market. You know, if you invest $100 in the Bitcoin in 2014, you invest $100 to buy the cash out of the market. Your your net four times higher if you join the mining instead of holding the Bitcoin from 20 many difference. And I think believing that Bitcoin futures, I think become the Bitcoin miners different things because it's required to mining network, not part network. Example, so I think you are acquiring mining at cost. so you can be part of the infrastructure provider to Bitcoin network. Besides, the coin HAG is an asset that is correlated to Bitcoin price because every month you get the dividends. So that means that you know compare with holding the BTC, you will not get the interest for sure. But but if you invest in HAG, you will not get the coin price as the fundamental value, but also acquire as the dividends. So yeah, this is the two things I would like to provide you to think of. Now, of course, you cannot have any comments on future Bitcoin price or future HTC price. So that's issue. Okay, let me check out another questions. So yeah, for APY, I think again, it will depends on different things because depends on we is there any events in the future. So this should be all included. So my difficulty is higher. So I think any is given in a certain kind of mind difficulty or some assumptions. So it's only for your it's this is the financial look, but not financial guidance. There is a financial outlook provided on our HG website. So I think this channel's official outlook reference if you care about future and performance. Again, this is not guidance. So think again from the employment and this is two interesting questions and most from so Masa asks, let me ask you a question. In what ways will Magic Circle Ltd be involved with HEG in the future? I think homework, right? Magic Circle is our advisor on the security token offering. I think they are pretty good at security token things. For us, is they're more like the IBD for security token offering. So I think it's already our advisors in the ST like security offering online. Then already tested. So our advisors on security things. Yeah, I think for us, I think and I think it is something work and I think it's very helpful for us launch our token online. So and your question. Thanks. Okay, there's another question about enjoyment. I'm sure many more mining companies will join in the future, but are your company competitive enough to lose? I think we are pretty confident in what we have because we participate in the Bitcoin mining. It's for 9 years exposure. Have the facts already from the traditional finance, mining industry, and I think as the mining difficulty higher, I think to achieve economy. So HAG kind of combines gateway and also transparent distribution gateway to mining economy to mining in just sustainable way. So I think the this model is kind of basic and enough, and I think we got some big confidence, having all the ability from Web 2 and Web 3 to achieve confidence to in future have many confusion. But we do this. I think we are building for a Bitcoin network, so we appreciate that. But answering your question, we are pretty confident in the path to face in the future. Thanks for joining questions. Okay, let me check. Okay, MH. When does the mining start? What want to purchase close to the deadline as funds are tied up, or is there any advantage to purchase earlier? Yeah, I think our will start at 65 days after we officially announce the first tranche is closed. So this is specified in our ES file. So preference and you have 6 days to meet. I think the difference between the early or like in or maybe is that first we will start receiving these dividends earlier. You might capture like appreciations of BTC have been coming in the future. The second difference I have is dividends. And that's one is OG, right? I miss so if you guys in the audio trenches, you might have better to achieve the information. So you have your option. There are hopefully three things, three advantages versus about the second is about the BTC location, and it's about the dividends you receive. The answer. Okay, there's a question from enjoying man. There's debate going on around me as to whether I should buy the BTC or HAG. Please tell me why I should buy it. Yeah, I think this is the question I answered to you. The cost versus price. Secondly, is that you are the to the Bitcoin network, and also it's very risky. Okay, so today we got questions. Maybe others have some closing remark. So first, uh, sorry. Okay, here you go. So first, we talk about some like ambassador and community manager announcements. So ambassador is kind of like engagement, and the benefits you have could be the IP exposure and the access to the latest news. And for a community manager, it is more like the deep engagements. So you might need to spend more time, more efforts within the community, and also the community manager have to manage the local community, have some more localized kind of strategy or even events that could help the HEG grow in the local markets. But the community manager will not only have the IP exposure benefits or access to the latest new, community manager could also have the salaries. So never hesitate to scan the QR code on the app to fill in the form. And next, let's talk about re-emphasize OG utility. OG will have some limited NFT and WBTC airdrop or to participate in a new conference, and also might have some offline gatherings in different countries. And also, we'll reserve the stuff for you to join the crypto events. Okay, again, this is our HAG MA this week. I think thank you so much for your participations. Sorry that we got so many questions that is unanswered. So I think if you guys have more more